Y'all, welcome back to the channel. Y'all, okay, now we've talked a lot about flipping our switch on this channel, and by that what I'm talking about is when we get in a really low vibe, like when we're frustrated or anxious or pissed off or disappointed or fearful, all of that stuff. I've been encouraging y'all to go in and change it for yourself, mostly because the time you spend in that mode, you are sort of deconstructing your positive manifestations, okay, for yourself. And there's a whole school of thought, you know, they'll pipe up real quick. I might get them here. They'll pipe up real quick about, well, I have to feel angry. Well, I deserve to be mad because you do deserve those moments. You need those moments. It's important to feel what we feel. I mean, stuffing stuff down doesn't work because it always comes back, right? But the thing is, it's so important to find a way to like shift ourselves out of those moods, and it's hard. I'm not even going to pretend like it's easy because it ain't, you know. And I am finally out in the world after years of seclusion, and I have been I've been having to go to bat for myself a lot, y'all. I've had to really step up my game and listen to my own words, listen to these messages that are coming in from spirit, and put them to practice in my own world because it's necessary. It's like I seriously can't deal with drama, all right? I'm not used to it. For years I haven't been able to get out into the world, and it's kind of protected me from a lot of the stuff that you all have to do all the time. But I heard this thing. It was on YouTube. Hi YouTube, thank you YouTube. It was about quantum stuff, you know, and I'm not going to even pretend like I really know the specifics of quantum mechanics and quantum physics or any of that, but there is a principle there where they do some experiment and they shoot light through a thing, and when nobody's looking, when there's no witnesses there, it has this all-encompassing kind of ever-present, it's all everywhere at once kind of deal. And but the minute it is observed, the big picture falls apart, and the only thing that is visible is what's being observed. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the importance of shaking ourselves out of that bowl, out of that. Okay, some would say I gotta be angry when I'm angry. Yes, you do, but it's so critical to be able to do it and then not do it, to make the decision, okay, I'm pretty mad, or I'm pretty frustrated, or I'm pretty disappointed, so right now I'm just going to feel that real quick, and then be able to move yourself out. Because the deal is just like the quantum thing. There is everything available to us at all times. We can easily see the joy of life as we do demise of life and the pitfalls of life, and it all depends on our focus. And it's the same thing with that quantum thing. The minute someone is viewing, it singularizes itself. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but it pulls itself into one spot, and all of that other stuff just falls away. It disappears. And it's the same thing with our focus. Now, we have control of our focus, right? We do. So while we're in that state, that low vibe state of reactionary stuff, whatever it is, disappointment, frustration, fear, loathing, you know, whatever, all of those other possibilities that do exist right within our grasp, they fall away. They make themselves unknown. Why? Because our focus is on that thing, the thing that makes us feel bad. I know. It's a lot of responsibility, but that's the truth, y'all. That's exactly what's going on. So as easily as you shift it into that, oh, I'm having a great day, la 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 la, and then somebody cuts me off in traffic, and then you zero in on that thing that happened to you that made you so mad, and maybe almost made you crash, and so that made you scared. You focus in on that, then all of those other good things that were happening for you in that time right before that, where you were feeling good and you were energized and you were ready for your day and you felt good in your car, all that stuff falls away once you zero in on, you know, somebody cutting you off in traffic. Okay, so the important part of that is not to squelch how you're feeling when stuff comes up. The important part of that is to stop looking at it after you're done with it. Stop looking at it and go back to the other place, or find another place to be. Whatever it takes. So, I don't know what it's going to take. It might, you might need some soothing music. You might need to, splash some cold water on your face. You might need to take a big gulp of air and take a nice big deep breath. And the one thing that I can tell you from my experience is the way to create a mechanism for you to do it easily. Just slow down. Just slow down. Once you click into some sort of negative emotion or negative reaction, okay, do it, feel it, do what you got to do with it, but slow down. Slow down, because that will allow that little inner voice, that higher self, that other thing in you, that being in you, the wise self, to kind of take over and help you navigate, flip your switch, and get back to a higher frequency. Because what happens in now, y'all? I mean, the future doesn't exist yet. The past no longer exists. So what happens in now is everything that we feel, everything we think in this moment of now is creating what's to come next. So that's why it's so important not to spend so much of our time dwelling on those lower frequencies, not to dwell in those lower vibrations. Because while we're doing that, we're creating more of that for ourselves. Okay? So number one, when you're feeling anxious, if something happens and you're disappointed or you're mad about something or whatever that is, or you're triggered, I'm going to do another video on triggers, y'all. The first one did very well, and it's been a while, a trigger trap. But once that happens, it's your job. It's our job to move ourselves, consciously move ourselves out of that place, because we can let it go on for hours and hours, or even all days or weeks. And then it becomes some weird habit. And once that takes hold, it's so much harder to disengage from that. So it's important to start to learn how to, and that's why I call it flipping your switch, because as easily as you got triggered, as easily as you flipped into that bad mode, you can flip yourself back into a good mode if you know what's happening, if you take responsibility for having allowed yourself to be moved out of your good zone, and or maybe, I guess Esther Hicks would call it alignment, aligning with your higher order, aligning with your dreams. It's doing the work is not easy, but if you do it and you continue to do it, just like everything else, it gets so much easier, and eventually it'll be a whole lot easier than anybody can even imagine. It'll be like, I'm not going to say it won't take any effort, because it does take a conscious awareness. It takes some sort of effort of decision. This happened to me. I wasn't feeling all that great, but I made a conscious decision that I can't spend all my time in that. I'm going to move myself back over here. What do I have to do? I don't know. Focus on something you love. Go hug your kitty. Go tend to your plants. Take a bike ride. Take a shower. Do whatever it is that will change the momentum of the moment for you. Okay, and don't wait around for somebody else to come and give you like good news, or give you a hug, or or for that other person to change their ways, because you might be there a while. It's our responsibility to change our energy, to put ourselves back in alignment, so that our nows are constructive, our nows are being utilized for the best evolution on this planet. Okay, so I just wanted to, I hope I explained that correctly, or I hope that was understandable for you, because this spirit message has really been at me. And then this morning I had a perfect opportunity. I was having a groovy morning, everything was good, and then all of a sudden stuff started clicking for me, and I was like, oh, and then I turned it that way, and then I was like, oh no, and then that one, and then oh no, and then a knock on the door, and it was one of those. And that was my opportunity to utilize these spirit messages that had been coming in for the last couple of days, and really like be aware and snap it into gear, and put it all into practice. And like I said, it's not always easy, especially when you get pummeled. Especially when it's not just one little isolated incident. Sometimes it's like a domino effect, and then you're like, ah. But it can be done. You can do it. You just got to want to do it. It's a decision that you make. It's a decision to change your focus. And once you change your focus, then all those other realities come alive again. Then the bigger possibilities come alive again. Once you have taken your laser focus off of what doesn't make you happy, what makes you happy will come alive again. Okay. All right, so that's really all I wanted to say, and I hope it was understandable, because I felt like it was very important. It was like knock, knock, knock. Something really knocks, knock, knocks, and then gives me a, this demonstrative example in my environment. Then I got to go with it. So I hope that made sense. I hope something resonated. I'm so happy you're here. I'm happy to be here. And look, if you like the video, put a little like thing on it, and if you care to share the video, please do that. Maybe somebody in your sphere who wouldn't normally see my video will get something from that. Okay, and subscribe. It's still free to subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks again for being here, y'all, and I will see you soon for a Grace card reading.